Amid the wrangling over whether her name should be included on the Democratic nominee roll call, amid threats of protest from her most ardent supporters at the convention, amid her husband's apparent reluctance to concede that her former opponent is ready to lead. Our fourth story on the countdown, Senator Clinton took to the campaign trail in her first solo appearance on the stump for Senator Obama. While the presumptive Democratic nominee headed to Hawaii for a week-long vacation, Senator Clinton headed to Henderson, Nevada, the state she won in the primary, to try to persuade her former supporters to switch allegiance fully, emphasizing the importance of not putting another Republican in office.
Senator McCain and President Bush are like two sides of the same coin, and it doesn't amount to a whole lot of change. We simply cannot afford 4 more years of the same. Anyone who voted for me or caucused for me has so much more in common with Senator Obama than with Senator McCain. I hope those of you who supported me will work as hard and fight as hard for Senator Obama as you did for me.
Senator McCain trying to rally support behind his offshore drilling distraction to the energy crisis, with campaign stops in Iowa and Arkansas, once again throwing his support behind the Republican stuntmen currently ensconced in an empty Congress who are pushing for a vote on more offshore drilling.
And when I'm president, I will call the Congress back into session. They left town for a 5-week vacation. They should return and return immediately. I'll be glad to go back to Washington to vote to solve this energy crisis. And Americans want action. They don't want Congress to take vacations.
This from a man who has so far taken a 4-month-long vacation from Congress. His campaign today releasing a new ad attacking Senator Obama's tax plan. Aptly and without irony, it's entitled Painful.
Life in the spotlight must be grand, but for the rest of us, times are tough. Obama voted to raise taxes on people making just $42,000. He promises more taxes on small business, seniors, your life savings, your family. Painful taxes, hard choices for your budget, not ready to lead. That's the real Obama.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
The Obama campaign calling that ad a, quote, lie, pointing out that even though a host of independent, nonpartisan organizations have said this attack isn't true, Senator McCain continues to lie about Senator Obama's plan to give 95% of all families a tax cut of $1,000 and not raise taxes for those making under $250,000 a single dime. As to the accusation that Obama voted to tax people making $42,000 a year when in fact he only voted on non-binding resolutions to let the Bush tax cuts expire, Senator McCain not only refusing to acknowledge the error, but repeating it, too.
He did vote on this issue, and the clear intent of that issue, of that vote, and the clear what it was about, whether we should tax people who are making $42,000 a year or not. And he voted to do it. I mean, again, records are records.
Joining us now, our own Eugene Robinson, associate editor, columnist with The Washington Post. Gene, thanks for your time tonight.
Good to be here, Keith.
Senator Clinton in Nevada in her first solo stumping for Obama. Did she advance the merits of his candidacy, or did it sound more like she was asking her supporters to vote for the lesser of two evils, or does that really matter?
I don't think that matters. In fact, I think the line that she took, which is basically, you really don't want to vote for John McCain. John McCain is trouble. John McCain is problematic. That line, attacking John McCain, is what a lot of Democrats have been saying the Obama campaign needs to do more of. Maybe, who knows, maybe she'll put out a response ad to that, life must be easy for Obama. Maybe she'll put out a response that points out that John and Cindy McCain are worth $1 gazillion, and life is a bit easier for them than it is for the Obamas.
Speaking of responses to McCain, is this the story of the day? Did we miss the headline here? The response to that ad from the Obama campaign reads, Senator McCain continues to lie about Senator Obama's plan. Is that the first time they used the word lie?
First time they've used it that prominently, certainly, and it'd be interesting to see that word featured prominently, in an ad that explains why they contend it's a lie. I mean, it's, the McCain folks are using very tough language, and I think you have to, the Obama folks probably want to use tough language back if they want to respond.
Speaking of tough language, Josh Green in the Atlantic Monthly has apparently gotten hands on hundreds of campaign memos during Senator Clinton's primary effort. How is this going to impact things? I mean, could there be previously unheard, possibly damaging material about Obama in there? Is it going to bounce back on the Clintons, or do we have no idea at this point?
We have absolutely no idea. It could, it'll be a trip down memory lane, I guess, and maybe we'll be, we'll look at this memo was written when this was happening in the campaign, and we'll get some insight into what they were feeling at various junctures in the primary campaign. Unless there is some sort of bombshell lurking in there, and I can't imagine, having thrown the kitchen sink at Obama during those late primaries, I can't imagine that there's anything left that didn't get tossed.
Last point here. This is to quote something that we heard McCain say earlier. When I am president, I will call the Congress back into session. I'm very confused about this. Does he think he takes office like in September or something, or he can go back in time to call them back? I mean, they're in recess until January. He won't be president. By the time he's president, if he's president, they'll already be back. I'm very confused temporarily here. The back of my head hurts.
Well, my head hurts too. I think it means that wherever they are, when he's president, he's going to call them back. They might be out of session. They might be inside. He's still going to call them back. That's the only way it makes sense.
If they're in the House and the Senate, he'll call them back and tell them to go back into the House and the Senate.
Exactly. Maybe he'll send them out and then call them back.
That's very nice. And there'll be a game of musical chairs, and when they get back in, there'll be one less seat for all of them. Gene Robinson of MSNBC and The Washington Post, thank you, sir. Have a good weekend.
You too, Keith.